Okay, welcome to part 3 and the final part of the Nations League roster review. Yeah, we've already done the "You Can't Be Serious" list, which was people we thought didn't even belong on the 40-man roster. Then we did the "Okay, I'm sorry, you just kind of missed out. You're on the outside looking in" people. And we had some confusion at the end there. And that was not Brett's fault. It was all my fault.
It carried on. We talked about it for like 5 minutes trying to figure out where it went wrong.
Yeah, it was me. It was me because I circled Siabatu and Yule. And I said, okay, this is where it comes to. I got one spot left, and these are my two guys. Do I want an extra center forward, or do I want an extra Adams, behind Adams guy, just in case?
Mm-hmm.
And because I like Luca De Torre, but I wasn't sure that he was 100% ready to play that role. Let's say if Adams goes down. No. So I went with Yule because I think he's a good passer. I think he's an overall solid player. I thought he was the only standout player in the Olympics. So I went with Yule and Siabatu. Sorry, buddy. Yeah. You're out.
That's where we went, yeah.
Yeah. And even though I'm a big fan, and that makes this list very easy for us, Brett, because we agree on every single pick on the 23-man roster. This is absurd almost.
Years of working together, our minds have melded into one.
I think so. And I think maybe U.S. men's national team should hire us to pick their rosters. Because
at least ask us.
Because every time we pick the right one and they do as well, we do well. And every time they pick the wrong one and we pick the right one, they do horrible. So they need to listen to us. All right. So that's a little arrogance coming out there. But it's all in good fun.
As Simon said, we know what we're talking about.
Thank you, Simon. We love you, baby. All right. So goalkeepers. This is going to be really quick because there's not much to add here unless you want to, Brett. But
Horvath? No, sorry.
Yeah, it's Stefan is our starter. All right. No Horvath.
No Horvath?
And I hate to say this, but every time I hear the word Horvath, this is not his fault. It reminds me of Horvath, and it just screws me up. All right, so that we got Zach Steffen starting, and Matt Turner is the backup, and David Ochoa just along for the ride to get some experience to, breathe and live with the team. And then our defenders are John Brooks, Aaron Long, this is center backs, Matt Miazga, and Chris Richards.
Absolutely.
I just don't see any way to deviate from that four core group. Now, some people think that Gregg will bring 5 CBs and include Tim Ream. I think Peter's picks included Tim Ream today. But again, Peter's he's trying to project what Gregg will do, not what he wants. But
sure. And again, that brings up the question of whether or not Gregg will play that 3-back line with Ream playing more of a left back / left center back type of position like we did against was it Wales?
I think so. Yeah, we did try out a back 3 for a while, but that's what Chris Richards plays at Hoffenheim. So
exactly,
he's more adept at it than Ream, who hasn't played for 2 seasons, or I'm sorry, a season.
Younger, a little more athletic, not so robotic.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Chris Richards is still he does some gaffes. I mean, he makes some errors.
Few and far between.
He's not always in the right place. I tell you what, though, that Justin Shea kid at Bayern Munich is going to be better than Richards. I'm just saying that here.
I love the fact that we have both of them as options for center back. I'm just saying that.
I know Shea was joking around that he was hoping the German national team's keeping an eye on him too, because he is a dual, so he could play for Germany as well. And a lot of people don't know that, but he can.
Is that a way to kind of force US to push, the call up?
I swear to God, he winked after he said it. All right, let's hope that's the case. Yeah. So, as our backs, we've got Reggie Cannon, Serginho Dest, DeAndre Yedlin, and Anthony Robinson. And people are going to say, "Where the fuck's Reynolds? Where's Reynolds?"
Sorry, Reynolds.
But Reynolds just getting started at Roma. He didn't play today, by the way. He was on the 18, didn't play. But he's getting a lot more playing time than I thought he would get. and there might be something there.
And that's going to beg the question in the end, because Cannon and Yedlin play at inferior leagues compared to Serie A. So I mean, if Cannon if Reynolds, there we go. So I'm looking at my list. I'm just going down the road. Nope, not him. Sorry, if Reynolds gets consistent playing time for Roma, there's no way that he doesn't make the roster over a Cannon or a Yedlin. Cannon and Yedlin make it over history, and that's about it right now. But if Reynolds can continue to get playing time with Roma, I see him being a lock call-up.
I do too. I just need that playing time to be solid and effective.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want him to look like Bambi lost in the woods. And that's how he looked at the beginning. He's starting to loosen up a little.
He's at a new team, and that's that mentality of I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm going to play incredibly safe.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
No, I understand.
Yeah, I mean but I just don't think he's ready for this 23.
I agree.
Midfielders, we have
real midfielders, please.
I mean, listen, the problem with the way this is listed on the CONCACAF website is that Brendan Aronson's listed as a midfielder. That's on Gregg, because Gregg listed him as a midfielder, but he doesn't really play that position for Salzburg, and he has proven at Salzburg, scoring a brace this weekend. This kid should be a winger. Mm-hmm. If you want to play midfield, go ahead as the sort of more attacking minded one. But if you play that formation, I get it. But I don't know. He's on the list as a midfielder. We agreed. Tyler Adams, of course, if he's healthy. Currently not. Luca De Torre, of course, playing great at Heracles. Sebastian Lletget is one of Berhalter's pet puppies. He's not playing well for Galaxy right now.
Minus how he's playing for Galaxy. He's earned a spot on the 23, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's always solid when he plays for us.
He's consistent. That's all I can say.
Wish he'd play better for the Galaxy.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, Galaxy fan alert. Weston Mckenney, of course. Although, man, they got their asses reamed and handed to them by AC Milan.
Not necessarily McKinney's fault.
Yeah, but he didn't help.
Nobody helped. That's the problem. Juve's been a shitstorm all season.
Well, they won today. No, they beat Sassuolo today.
They're fortunate. They're lucky with how they've played all year. They're lucky to be in contention for Champions League. That's all I gotta say. And this is coming from a Juve fan. They're missing something, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, something is missing. But it was interesting. They played today, and he played opposite against Jeremy Toljan at Sassuolo, who started at left or right back. Can't remember now. I think it was left back. And Jeremy Toljan is somebody that plays in Serie A, who is supposedly, eligible to play for the United States, according to him and his mother. And apparently he has located his father's family in the United States. So now he just needs to do the DNA test thing and prove that his dad was his dad, and then he could play for us. And that would give us another option at left back. Can you imagine Toljan on the left, Dest on the right? That would be pretty funky. Anyhow, not on this list, and apparently he's not made enough effort, I don't know, to be even considered. All right. That went off the rails there. All right, Yunus Musa, Gio Reyna, and what Brett and I both amazingly fell back on is, yes, Jackson Ewell as a backup to Adams.
So, yep, absolutely. Ewell's the only option to replace Adams in this situation, in my opinion. We have a couple players who could play that position, but as far as filling that specific role, no, it's going to be Ewell. It's going to be Ewell or Acosta, so you pick your poison.
I mean, the only other guy that, you could slot Luca De La Torre in there, but that's not really his natural position.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily.
Owen Odasawi, has played very randomly and very little for Wolverhampton, and when he does play, doesn't play that position for Wolverhampton, oddly enough. So I think you got to go with Yule right now. He's a known quantity and a safe one, a safe pick.
Yep.
Our forwards, Daryl Dike,
Mm-hmm.
Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent, and Timothy Way. Well,
But that's also, again, we have to consider, we listed Aronson and Reyna as midfielders because Berhalter has, but they're absolutely going to be contending for those wide attacker options.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Why they're listed that way, I don't know. Gio Reyna just doesn't play that position. So, not for Dortmund, he doesn't. So, he plays CAM or sort of a right winger position for Dortmund.
He plays the role that Berhalter's been playing him as with Dortmund. He plays that right winger, sometimes left, depending on if they just switch with Sancho. But he plays that specific role. There's no reason to consider him as a midfielder.
And last time Greg had him, he played him as a right winger.
Yeah.
So why is he listed as a midfielder in CONCACAF? I don't know. There must be some technical thing I'm missing. All right, so that gets to snubs. I'll let you start on that one.
Well, disregarding age-wise here and the fact that he wasn't called into the Olympics, I think Kaden Clark has been playing phenomenally this season so far, and I'm kind of surprised that somebody like Roldan may have gotten called over top of him, or Nicosta for that matter.
So your snubs are like snubs of people who didn't even make the 40.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I get it. No, I agree.
What snub could there possibly? We've already talked about the other people.
That's true.
So my snub has to be the outside of the 40.
So Kaden Clark he's been amazing. That's nothing. There are very few words. Cade Cowell has been great for San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Why not drag him into this 40?
Will you bring over him over Zardes per se?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
we know what Zardes brings, and he's not going to be on the National League or Nations League team. So why not bring in a Clark?
Of course, you're talking about an organization in U.S. soccer who was so stupid they didn't even bring them to the Olympic 2020. So could you possibly expect them to bring Kaden Clark into the 40 of a preliminary roster?
They do so well with other foreign talents and stuff like that you would imagine that they would have no problem scouting their own league.
You would think.
I don't know. It's just me.
We all know where Kaden Clark is going, and that's Europe, and that's next window.
On his way to Leipzig. So I mean,
yeah,
it's already been announced. He's going to be there before long, and Marsh is going to have the privilege of coaching him.
Yep, I know. And actually, if I were the Red Bull organization, what I would do is I would shift Aronson over to Leipzig and loan. I would flip-flop the loans. I would have Leipzig loan Aronson for the year, and then let Leipzig loan
Clark
to Salzburg for a year.
Get more playing time.
Yeah, so Salzburg. So Clark can get some playing time. If they're smart, that's what they will do. Man, I'm devious today. Okay. I got a snub too, and it's Julian Green. We talked about it, yeah. How does this guy not make the 40? What the hell? Roldan's on this list. And that gets back to politics. They have to have so many MLSers on this preliminary roster.
It has to be the case.
Because Julian Green's playing amazing in soccer for Greuther Fürth. They're going to be in one.
I was going to say, aren't they going to get they're promoted, right?
They're going to be. It's not 100%, but they keep winning and not losing. They got some ties recently, but they don't lose very often. Yeah. And Green is an integral part of why they're doing so well. So, yeah, that's a joke. And I know we're into wrapping up territory, but I do want to bring on another person who was left on the outside of this 40 that could have been considered. Because if you're going to consider Yedlin and you're going to consider Tyler Boyd, for me, you got to consider Mix Diskerud. And I know he's an older gentleman, but he's been playing just as well. He's certainly been playing better than Boyd this season in the Turkish league. And, Yedlin, when he's healthy, he's been great. But if you're going to bring in Boyd and put him on this 40, then put Diskerud on there. And I know they're player positional. They play different positions, but it seems a little like backwards to me sometimes, the way they're evaluating players. Maybe they don't even watch Mix's games. I don't know. And then the two non-snubs that aren't snubs that people think are snubs. Matthew Hoppy. He just hasn't played enough. He played 4 or 5 games in a row, scored a bunch of goals, and then went into drought territory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not his fault. Schalke sucks.
Yeah.
But he's just not ready for this team yet. I mean, he's 20 years old. Give him some time.
But competition-wise, we can say the same thing about Sargent. It's not his fault that Bremen suck.
Yeah, exactly. But at least Bremen aren't in the relegation zone.
They're fine. They're close.
They're working towards it, and
it's like they aim for it. In all honesty,
we must do this again. Let's play that
playoff
relegation playoff game. Let's all piss our pants and shake nervously. Yeah, and then the other one I see online a lot, Brett, is Pomacall.
Who? No.
Paxton.
Kidding, of course.
I'm sorry, but Paxton Pomacall is just an injury machine. And I'm glad he's back and healthy and that he's finally playing again. But he's not even starting for FC Dallas yet.
So 2.0?
I mean, they're easing him back into the starting lineup, I think. And right now, Tessman's starting in front of him. So I don't know. I know so many people love Pomacall, Brett, but I'm not getting it.
I will say that I've liked what I've seen from Tessman enough that I would say, why not bring him over Roldan or Acosta in that situation?
Amen to that.
Why not bring a younger player who might might affect the team later on in life, compared to aged players who may only affect temporarily, say, Gold Cup.
What about on that stream of thought, Keaton Parks?
Sure. No, I've always wondered why he's gotten such a shaft. Oh, he's such a smooth player that I'm so confused why he's never been called up. This has been ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. If you're gonna bring Roldan, and I know he plays for the Sounders, so you got to call up a Sounders guy, especially if our big boy Morris is out, who I do like and do respect, and I do think
he'd be on the 23.
Would be on this
Guaranteed.
40. He might be, but I think Aronson kicks him off of it now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, who'd he replace, Weah or Aronson? I think you're right. I think he would get removed off the 40.
I think Aronson's playing his ass right off of this 23-man roster right now. And if there must be some sort of, teams in the league you have to call a player from, because Seattle seems to always get at least one. And Roldan, bye-bye, man. Come on. Bring in Parks. Give me somebody else to look at. Kaden Clark. Put him on this 40-man roster.
Yep.
It's not going to hurt. All right. We are done. This is it. This was part 3. This was the roster. This is what you hopefully can expect. Unless Greg goes insane or unless a bunch of guys drop down with injuries left and right and things go all haywire. Until next time, on the Straight Right Card, hit subscribe, hit like, tell your friends about it, all that jazz. I'm not really good at this part. So we'll see you